Hi everyone, welcome back to the Controversial Podcast. In today's podcast, we'll be discussing about the former National Commissioner stroke, former SAPS Minister, Becky Cele. I'm still stunned. I didn't think Cele would actually expose everyone in the African National Congress. We've heard a lot of things about him in the media, how corrupt he is, all those allegations about him and drugs. But there, the man came out prepared, and I feel like he spoke the truth.
I still spoke to Mabonga when I know that he was in prison.
No, I didn't say in prison, Minister.
What did you say?
Knowing what he's doing, and then afterwards meeting Mr. Matlala and getting to know what Mr. Matlala does, and you still continued a relationship with them.
But I said, I know Mabonga that was arrested. That's what I said. And then you say, on top of that, I still met him.
Correct, but I didn't
Because
say...
I want to come to you to say, but many of us here, we have spoken to people that have been in prison.
Absolutely, but when
That
you...
includes you.
Indeed.
Yes.
I do speak
Then it can't be a crime to speak to somebody that has been in prison. LL, I don't know if you know a guy called LL, SC. His name is Louis Lubbenberg. He's a king of Zamazamas. He cleans diamonds and everything. He's millions and millions. He funds MKP. He maybe finds Baba and through him MKP because he paid 500,000. He paid 500,000 for the case for the private case to be taken to court. I think taking case privately, you pay. He paid that money. And he has been arrested. He's in prison as I speak for running diamond. He has appeared in court, and MK has been in court supporting him every day when he goes to court. Now, I don't know whether they don't know that, but the crux of the matter is that you can meet somebody and get later how deep that person is. But if you work in security, SC, you can't say, I can't meet you, because that kind of information from that person could be the lifesaver of many other things. So understand where I come from. By the way, I do meet criminals. I do. And the information can be broader used than not having met him. Others, there are those that are obvious, like the Cape Town one. Really, I can't meet Medoc. I can't meet Nasif. I can't meet those guys. But those, because you know how far have they gone, it might not help you. You can even, those guys say, meet so and so and send the officer to that person. But some of these guys will refuse to say, I'm not going to give this information because if I give this information to somebody different, it might come back to bite me. But this is a world that we live in from the work that we are doing or we were doing.
He really exposed the former president, Jacob Zuma. Now I understand why they're beefing. Jacob Zuma was not a good person. I can say allegedly. I can't just say it's allegations because it's known. Even Julius Malema said, Ubaba, the former president Jacob Zuma, likes using people. After using them, he just dumps them just like that, like it's nobody's business. I mean, Ubaba is always the victim. You know the stories. I'm going to speak who killed Chris Hani, but even today he still hasn't spoken about that. We like people like the General of KwaZulu-Natal, the Provincial General of KwaZulu-Natal, General Ndletla Mkhwanazi. He came out on the 6th of July and exposed the judiciary. I'm talking about your politicians, the criminal cartels. He spoke about a lot of things, shady things, criminal networks and all of that. When Kuni decided to disband his team, we should really appreciate people like Becky Cele. He was very honest, in my view, the way he spoke. And he's consistent with his testimony. You can see that the man is not lying. He even spoke about Matlala. He said he knows Matlala. He said Zuma made him a national commissioner. Well, back then, he said he was working as an MEC under security in KwaZulu-Natal. After that, Zuma approached him back then when he was a president and said, can you come and be the national commissioner? I think Zuma has a skill, man, of spotting the right people. That man has a skill of spotting hardworking individuals. For instance, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, even though some other people complained that he was taken from that position, I forgot what he was a brigadier or whatsoever, then he was made an acting national commissioner. So Ubaba had to do something about that because people were complaining. Apparently, other generals were complaining. So he had to be made a general. Apparently, that's when he became a national commissioner overnight. So he spoke about a lot of things, and I am glad Bheki knows his work. At least he knows the duties of the minister, he knows the duties of the national commissioner. So he said when he was appointed as a national commissioner, they've done well. And he spoke about how they saved the World Cup. I mean, the World Cup was actually a success. Like, we hosted the World Cup, even though in the final days they were trying to snatch that opportunity away from South Africa. But, you know, we should be thankful of the likes of Mkhwanazi, Bheki and others. Talking about the SAPS now. So yeah, he spoke about how Ubaba tried to use him. He tried to use him, but he wouldn't budge. He said he must fire this individual, but he didn't do that. I forgot the names. But he moved this person to other cluster. And then there was other guy, I can't remember what he said. So he suspects that Zuma didn't like that because the mandate came from the deputy minister of the SAPS and the minister at that time. The deputy minister of the SAPS was Fikile Mbalula at that time, and the minister was the late Nathi Mthethwa, of which I don't believe Nathi Mthethwa is late, guys. So we can say rest in peace, but I don't believe that. You know, after the funeral, his wife was having after party or after tears, whatever they call it. In our culture, we don't do that. She was supposed to mourn. But I'm not going to dispute that, but I feel like Nathi Mthethwa is not dead. They did the thing of Gavin Watson, of which I don't believe that he's no more, and the other guy from Western Cape, I think it's Juster, stole billions, if I'm not mistaken, whether it's millions or billions. So I don't believe those people died. But anyway, spoke about how SAPS was infiltrated under Biega. Biega changed a lot of things. That's why SAPS is no longer stronger, because they dismantled a lot of hardworking police there. So that's why we're in a mess. You know, the SAPS is captured, the judiciary is captured. He even said so. He said Mkhwanazi's allegations, especially the one for criminal cartels and drug syndicates, it's not the first time. There was a judge who came up with that judgment in the Western Cape, if I'm not mistaken. So it's nothing new. According to him, it's nothing new. They know these things. And I feel Ubaba has done his comrades wrong, because it's not only Bheki Cele, man. Blade Nzimande is no longer having a good relationship with Ubaba. And that other guy who was in charge of the unions, the Xhosa guy, I forgot his name. It's Vavi. Yeah, it's Zwelinzima Vavi. There are a lot of people who complained about Ubaba, especially his comrades. Even Julius Malema complained. At some point, there was a time where Julius Malema was so in love with Jacob Zuma. They broke up, their relationship just crumbled. So you can see what kind of a person he is, even though others don't want to believe that Jacob Zuma is a divisive man. But you can see, man, it cannot be a lot of people are coming out saying all these bad things about you and you are innocent. You always want to play a victim. I feel like Bheki Cele was just straightforward. He admitted, yes, I know Matlala. Whether it was wrong or right, he said, I met this guy. At first, I didn't know. You know, he was not arrested. He just came to him and said, Umkhunu, the suspended minister of the SAPS, is using him because he wants to be a president or a deputy president. But he was instructed by Mkhunu that you mustn't approach Zuma or Cele. It was something like that. You mustn't speak to those people. You mustn't speak to those individuals. And they were trying to arrest Khumalo, which means CBI has been trying this thing, CBI is just a dodgy top cop. I'm talking about the top cop who's attending the ANC events. I mean, that's just a big red flag. I remember Umkhonto Sizwe told us about CBI's baby mama, but they just didn't interrogate CBI, but I knew that there was something wrong. Apparently, I've seen tweets, but I cannot confirm this one because it's on social media, that the lady was just just rogue. They were doing corruption, allegedly. I'll just say allegedly. And yeah, we've seen how Umkhonto Sizwe Party tried to protect Ubaba, especially when Bheki revealed that Umkhonto Sizwe Party was funded by the Zama kingpin. I think it's Leeuwenberg, something like that. So the Umkhonto Sizwe Party felt like that was wrong, even though the guy said it. They tried to play tricks with Cele, and Cele wasn't playing, and said, that thing is in the public. Like, he even said so himself. They tried to say it's hearsay, but he said, no, it's not a hearsay. Even Nomvalo, like, sometimes Nomvalo is just irritating, guys. Like, you cannot trust these political parties. Hey, when they know that person has done wrong and belongs to other party, they will grill them harder. For instance, Ngola, the ANC guy, like, he was very lenient when it comes to Mchunu, even Nongoya or Nomgola. I'm sorry if I'm butchering her surname. Like, you can see that they're just playing games. So the Umkhonto Sizwe Party were not really happy about what Mchunu stated there. It was when Bheki Cele said Ubaba tried to buy this guy by using Mbalula and Nathi Mthethwa. And he said, that's an hearsay, and said, no, wait a minute. I was the national commissioner, and Fikile Mbalula, the ANC Secretary General now, was actually the deputy minister of the SAPS, and Nathi Mthethwa was the SAPS minister. So there was no way, and they are telling me that this instruction came from the president, because minister of the SAPS reports to the president. So there was no way that it was a hearsay. It was a mandate from Jacob Zuma. He really defended himself. Do I trust Cele? No. I think the man knows how to play those people, but I do not think that he's actually innocent. Remember, Advocate Tifo came out with allegations that he stole the shipment from Brazil. That container had drugs. So I feel like Bheki Cele had absolutely nothing to lose. He exposed everybody. He was truthful even when he spoke about Matlala. Whether you think that him meeting Matlala was because of that tender that was given to Matlala, he really clarified that sometimes he helps Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. He spoke about this operation Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi had when somebody called him from prison. Apparently, they were organizing assassins to kill the chief. These are the people who are going to kill the king. They are carrying AK-47. What else am I missing? Ashley Sauls, he really tried to play his tricks. I'm sorry to say that. I feel like that guy is just dumb. Secondly, that's very harsh to say that. Let me just say he's a slow learner or something like that, and he likes defending the criminals. Remember when he disrespected Fanny Masemula, when he called Fanny Masemula a liar about the hearsay evidence, when he said that Deputy President Kenny Kunene was found in Molefe's house when Molefe was arrested by the PKTC, and I feel like he was just there to defend Kenny Kunene. I don't know, like, I just lost hope when it comes to PA. At least Action SA, I can say they are doing well. I also want Herman Mashaba, even though I'm always advocating for Herman Mashaba now, I just want him to go and answer some questions there, because his name is also popping up. It's him and the DA who appointed Sibiya, the shady guy, the municipality back then when Herman Mashaba was a mayor. So I really wish they can invite Herman to give more details, because I remember he said he called the president, or he had a meeting with the president and said, I've got so many cases in this municipality, can you do something about it? And apparently president never did anything about it. So, I'd like to know what's the story there between the DA and Sibiya, because Sibiya was very comfortable in saying, I know Bratzenberg. Even Bratzenberg was just lenient when it comes to Sibiya. So the people who were asking really hard questions were people from the ANC, I think Umkhonto Sizwe Party, the EFF leader decided to skip that part. He needs to tell us why he wasn't there, because I heard in the Matlang Commission that Sibiya is friends with Julius Malema. When somebody, especially somebody from the ANC, is sitting in that hot seat, ANC is not going to grill that person. Same thing when somebody from the PA or somebody from the EFF or whatsoever, or whatever the case. Look at what Umkhonto Sizwe Party did, especially when they mentioned Jacob Zuma. Oh, that was a hot mess. They became so defensive. Like, really, are you there fighting for corruption, or you just want to prove a point that Ubaba has always been a victim of the system? What is wrong with you guys? The Umkhonto people, can they just gather in the comment section? Are they even happy that Tony Yengeni is now the member of the Umkhonto party? Tony Yengeni was actually arrested for corruption during Thabo Mbeki's tenure. So, Umkhonto party, shame. I know like people will be angry. Okay, Ubaba did some good things, especially when it comes to infrastructure development. We've seen during 2010 World Cup, the stadiums were like, wow, so beautiful. Secondly, he built the universities, he built another jail that he built. I think he built a jail in Ascot. He also built the High Court in Mpumalanga, Spaghetti Junctions Road, infrastructure that was beautiful. What else? Universities, yeah, University of Mpumalanga, University of Salt Lake, I can't remember others. There were some developments because even SARS, there was a time where SARS collected about R1 trillion, so the man was working, but he had his weaknesses. Hey, there was corruption. He cannot deny that. We've seen PRASA went down when Balula was the Minister of Transport. I mean, we've seen a lot of things falling apart, but things are worse now under President Cyril Ramaphosa. I feel like Ramaphosa didn't do anything. He just invited the cartels, because we are hearing about the Big Five and all of that. For me, even though I have a soft spot for Ubaba, for the things that he did during his 9-year wasted tenure, as the ANC call it, which I don't think it was just wasted years. He also announced the free education when he realized that, you know what, I'm leaving the office. Let me do this. That's when they had a fallout with Blades Monday. Remember that saga? So yeah, I'm saying you cannot praise a fish for swimming, but I'm just saying that there were things that were happening. The SASSA recipients were so happy because they were getting paid month end. So now President Cyril Ramaphosa has moved that. The old people are getting the grant on the 9th, sometimes on the 8th. So I feel like this guy is just a villain. Like, he doesn't care whether you're poor or rich, because there's Zamazamas who are busy. Not only Zamazamas, guys, there's high rise of illegal foreigners. We have an issue of high unemployment. We're busy fighting illegal foreigners here, and he doesn't care. And if you've listened carefully, the testimony of Peggy Cele, these ANC people know the drug dealers, know the Zamazama kingpins, like, they know people who are doing corruption in this country. Why can't they arrest them? They are benefiting also. So nobody should consider African National Congress next year in the local elections, even in the general elections come 2029. People should vote wisely. And these smaller parties who broke away from the ANC, I just don't trust them. Don't trust the PA even. I regret giving them a vote in regional. I voted for different parties, but I wasted my vote. You know, Mabahambe Gates in Mackenzie is no longer singing Mabahambe, shame. That guy is an opportunist, just like Julius Malema. I know some of you are going to come for me, but I said what I said. I'm not going to retract that statement. So let me know on the comment section, what are your thoughts about this? And I like what he did when he explained why it was wrong for Mkhunu to disband that team, because Mkhunu lied about a lot of things, guys. He said there was no ministerial committee. He said that thing was closed, of which he lied. It was exposed. He had no right to disband the team. Secondly, he didn't consult, like all the stupid reasons that he gave us. That man just lied to us. He just lied. Sometimes he would admit that. I remember this other guy from Umkhonto party. He said, you have a habit of lying. You lie without researching. You lied about the principle, as I've stated in my videos. That was before he said so. I said it like, he doesn't investigate anything. He doesn't research, he doesn't investigate. Same thing as Meridia's situation. And I think we should thank the Inkatha Freedom Party for exposing Mkhunu, because they linked Meridia's letter to Mkhunu. It was basically the same. Even Peggy Cele said Meridias maybe is working with the cartels and they're using her since they know that he's a professor. So explained how this thing all started and how the PKTT came about, why is it successful or whatsoever. And he said there are so many task teams. There's no way that the political killings task team is the one that is milking the money. There are other task teams that are very, very expensive. I think he made an example of Valum Kodi and the other one, Thunder. I think it's now called Lockdown Operation in the Western Cape. So we have an issue in South Africa at this moment, because he also spoke about how the private securities are taking over, because they are now taking the policemen who are highly trained, and that is a dangerous situation. I don't think we are safe as a country. We can be invaded at any moment, because SAPS is weak, like is way weaker. He even exposed Biyaga, that national commissioner. Apparently he said he colluded with Jacob Zuma, and they dismantled task teams that were working, and also the divisions. Now things are way weaker in the SAPS. He spoke about other issues like your judges. They need to come to ad hoc committee, because they cannot blame the SAPS in this whole thing, because prosecutors are involved. Not only that, the correctional services, justice system also needs to come there. All these institutions, public institutions that he mentioned, he said they must go there and account, because they have a headache, especially when they speak about the word bail, because people are just getting bail to murder people. Every time when they're asking bail, they'll be granted a bail. And generals are fighting because others are corrupt, others are on the other side. I think I've stated in one of my videos, others are on the side, the right side, others on the left side, of which they're doing corruption. I'm talking about the likes of Sibiya. I'm sure there are so many generals just like Sibiya. What do I think about Cele? I think Cele has a great heart. Maybe when he started, he wasn't a corrupt guy, but I don't think he's 100% clean. And when he spoke about meeting criminals and all of that, the likes of Matlala, and stated his reasons, because he didn't want Khumalo to be taken out from the system just because Sibiya has a beef with Khumalo. So he said, I'm just going to resolve this, even though it's going to benefit Matlala in terms of his contract with the SAPS. He spoke about that they tried to arrest Khumalo, of which now Khumalo was arrested. I think that was second attempt. Do you remember in the middle of his testimony yesterday, talking about Bheki Cele, Kwanazi withdrew some allegations that he made about the former minister Bheki Cele. They linked him with some cartels where he received money from Matlala, and he was cleared from that, because he could have said, no, I don't know Matlala. In this GNU government, they didn't include Cele, so I understand why he had to name and shame the African National Congress. Share your views on the comment section. Let's not be emotional. Let's engage. Let's be respectful on the comment section. Bye. See you on the next video.